When many of us see the mess in our basements, we're tempted to just close the door and put it out of our minds. But that attitude can cost you money when it comes to your home's energy efficiency, and when all you may need is really a visit from the doctor. Joining me today is Ron Greenbaum, better known as the Basement Doctor. Ron, nice to see you.
Well, always great to see you, Gail.
And energy efficiency is something that we really need to think about when it comes to basements, because even if you have a basement, crawl space, whatever, if you don't take care of it starting there, the whole rest of the house is going to start to add up in money.
Yeah, all the air starts below, and the stack effect allows all the air to go into the rest of your home.
Let's talk about unfinished basements first, because those are what are easily ignored. Mm-hmm. They're concrete floors, they're crawl spaces. What happens if you don't treat any of that down there?
Well, what you want to make sure of, obviously, is that you don't have a problem. You've got to, particularly a crawl space. People don't look in there often. What triggers any type of look into the crawl space is typically like a moisture odor or something like that. And once you have a moisture odor, you're growing mold.
Yeah, and that's what we're showing us, some before and afters. It's important that you take care of that crawl space, even if somebody doesn't use it for storage or anything.
Yeah, absolutely, because 50% of the air that you're breathing is coming out of that crawl space.
Mold is a problem. It's actually a problem because it can infect. I mean, really, it's a medical problem, isn't it?
It can be. It's a four-letter word, and it can create health problems. If you're not allergic to mold, then obviously it's not as worrisome. But if you have asthma or any type of allergies, things like that, if you allow that to continue to grow, and again, it's a living organism, and it's going to just spread because it's airborne.
So how do you help it? How do you help mold and dry up these basements, crawl spaces, whatever?
Well, what we typically do is we first of all examine and see what the problem really is. If you have something growing and it looks nasty, then you want to treat it. You want to clean it up.
Right.
We can test, and it's very inexpensive, really, to test a basement or crawl space for mold. But again, if you see it there, it's probably some markings or things like that. But we don't like to call it mold unless we absolutely know it is for sure.
And there could be leaks in the foundation. How do you take care of those things?
Well, you want to. There's a number of different ways to do that. Typically, again, talking about a crawl space, we have a encapsulation system called Clean Space. Mm-hmm. But before you put that on, you've got to make sure that you're controlling groundwater or particularly downspouts that may be pouring right next to the foundation.
Yes, because if you don't stop those problems, you're still going to have that continuing issue.
Right. And then the air quality, the Sanidry unit is used for crawl spaces and basements, and what that does is it cleans the air, it scrubs the air, and at the same time keeps the relative humidity under 50%, and then mold won't grow.
Basements are always humid, though, even if somebody does decide that they're going to remodel their basement. How can you help folks keep that humidity out of their basement, especially if they're using it as a living space?
Well, one thing you absolutely want to do is make sure that you have proper, and particularly spray foam insulation in the rim joist, so air doesn't come in and out. Mm-hmm. I've looked at basements where people have literally drilled holes thinking that's going to help the humidity factor, but you want to control the dampness, because that's really the key to energy efficiency. It costs a lot more to heat and cool a basement or a crawl space that has wet or damp air.
And we saw something called Sanidry. What is that?
Right.
Is that like a dehumidifier?
It's for lack of a better term, a dehumidifier on steroids. It'll actually take care of up to 2,000 square feet, and it'll pump 90 in a crawl space, 90 gallons, and you don't have to clean it out. It's a whole different concept, and it's a miracle machine, because it'll clean the air down to 2 microns, take care of dust mites, and it's really the first step to controlling humidity.
Well, as always, Dr. Basement, nice to have you here. And Ron, your phone number's been up, so if people are having problems, they can give you a buzz.
877-DRY-TIME. Call me now.
Thanks, Ron. Well, when you hear the words do-it-yourself, do you cringe inside? Well, it's time to get past your fear of home repair projects. Up next, we have unique ideas that anyone can tackle. And I know this is a hands-on project you can easily do yourself, frozen yogurt treats that you design yourself.